Hey everyone, guess what? It's a new post. That's right, Option Addicts. It is Tuesday morning. It's very early on Tuesday morning, April 10th. Got a couple price patterns I want to share with you guys. Things that are on my radar for this week. Hopefully might end up on yours. A couple of these will include patterns that we've looked at from prior weeks. So if we review them again, obviously keep them in your watch list. I'm going to start off with SMSI. Flag pattern, right? I'm going to delete these lines and draw maybe more of a horizontal line here. And the flag lives on. Watch for a breakout of this right about the $20 per share range. This stock's going to move about $4, looking at 24. Of course, you're going to have to deal with a lot of earnings announcements that are coming up within some of these patterns. So, as usual, I don't recommend taking any trades over earnings unless you've done the appropriate research. So maybe use those as exit dates. I'm also going to pull up AIG. In case if you didn't know, we're going to move pretty fast. I got to make it within 10 minutes. Symmetrical triangle going on. This is one we talked about in my price patterns class a while back. It's nearing the apex of that triangle, so pretty soon it's going to be a make or break point. If this thing doesn't want to break to the downside pretty soon, I'm looking at just removing this off the list, no problem. Next is COG. Cabot Oil and Gas. This one looks pretty nice. There you go, your downward trending resistance, upward trending support. Right at a nice little apex here, looking for a break to one direction or the other. This should be about a $3.50 move for this particular stock. On a $30 stock, we like that. So COG, have that on your list. Also, GES. Not looking so promising. Let's move this line a little bit. Still got a symmetrical triangle going on here. Watching for a break. Maybe more of an ascending triangle. I mean, it's really kind of a slight descent on that resistance, but a triangle nonetheless. One that's about 5 points wide. Keep that on your radar. Hopefully this will be an explosive move one direction or the other. Next, LOW. Not a stock I'm really all that excited about, but a pattern's a pattern, right? Early onset of a triangle. Keep an eye on this one. Kind of about a 2.5 to 3 point move on this stock when it finally breaks out. So keep lows on your radar. MUR was a flag we looked at. You extend those trend lines down a little bit lower. It still counts. If it doesn't break out pretty soon, though, you're getting too close to earnings. There's probably not going to be enough time, but you'll notice that volatility is starting to curl up. Options are getting a little pricey. If you do get a breakout, this could be a good 1 to 2, 3 week trade before earnings. So hopefully that happens. I'm also watching Pinnacle Financial Partners. Still nothing going on yet. It's working its way lower, but watch for a break of support before you trade that guy. Children's Place finally kind of broke to the downside yesterday. It was pretty close, though. I don't know if I'd really call that a breakout. And with today's action, I mean, that really looks like kind of a support bounce off that lower trend line. So not a real definitive bounce as of yet. But good triangle. Keep it on your radar. What else do I have? I'm going to go next to WSO, which is one I was kind of concerned about. You see on the 6-month chart, and it's pretty apparent, there's a symmetrical triangle going on here. But then when you zoom out, and I start getting so confused, kind of an interesting trend. Downward trending for about almost 6 months prior to this recovery from August until recently. So from the lows here in the $42 range, yeah, you can call that kind of an intermediate upward trend, but I just don't know. It's an ascending triangle, though. Look at it. You decide what you want to do with it. I don't think I'm going to trade this one, but I guess I just wanted to talk about it for some reason. I'm going to move over to AMX. Kind of the flag breakout you saw yesterday. Or if you just track it sideways, I guess it's with not a lot of volume as of yesterday, but AMX, something pretty to look at. Flag going on here. Watch for a break of about 50.5 before you take that trade. Wait for a little volume confirmation. This one, not the most volatile stock, but you'd be looking at about a quick 3-point move at least when it does finally break. ACTU. There we go. This sideways trend that's been going on for quite a while. It's a lower price stock. We looked at this a couple weeks ago. Still on my radar, and I think it's probably going to wait up until earnings to finally want to move. But keep it on your list. We'll see if price patterns qualify on lower price stocks. CEN. Can I zoom in here a little bit? Let's go to the 6 month. Let's go to this flag. Watching for a break of about 35. And when it does, the stock's going to run for about 2 to 3 points or so at least. Also on my list, CMG. Brett will like this one. He eats there probably once, twice a week. Chipotle Mexican Grill. Ascending triangle. Watch for a nice close above 65 with some volume. And I think you got a pretty good trade on your hands. I like that action in the morning yesterday. Looked like it was going to break out, but yet closed right back down. So we'll see how it works out. Also on my list, let's see, SON. And still a little bit early, but watch it kind of consolidate here around 40. And you'll see it flag for a little while. This could be a pretty good move once it does confirm, but I think it might kind of track sideways up until earnings. Who knows? But once it does, here you got about a 3.5 point move plus on this stock. I think that'll be great. SON. Last for the patterns, WOR. Same thing. Worthington, never heard of them. But flag formation going on there. Watch it. When it breaks above 22, you got about a 2 point move on the stock. Should work out pretty well. Since we got through that pretty quickly, I got about 3.5 minutes max. Let's go over a few things. Support bounces, resistance bounces. VIP, keep that on your list. I know a lot of traders, when it comes down to the stock, tend to get a little emotional because it's a big mover. It's up big one day, it's down the next. But think in terms of percentages, it's not all that bad. It's getting pretty close to that $100 mark. You can see it's trading at 99.18. Earnings right around the corner. Yeah, I still love this company. I'm always going to love this company until it finally wants to make me lose money. But until that time, keep it on your radar. That once it reaches that century mark, stocks tend to want to float above that. Let's see. On my bearish list, F5 Networks. Here it's kind of simple. Watch for a kind of a move upward in this particular stock. Any kind of these little, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess just strong moves to the upside. You want to short those on the way back down. F5 looking pretty weak. Have that on your bearish list. I have it on mine. Berkeley, BER, same thing. Although I'm going to look at this one from kind of a downward trending resistance line and kind of spilling over off of that. EXPD. I don't know why in the world I had this on my list. Oh yeah, I'm bearish on it. Support line, this resistance, I mean, something like that. It's kind of hesitating right around 42. Look for it to turn down, make the next leg lower. INFY, I really like this one. Simply for the fact that this level right here just looked like it made sense a little bit. It's coming up to there. Notice this big sell-off in volume just dissipating as the stock was climbing. I like that. I'd like to see it turn down from 53 and test its prior low at 49. We'll wait for some confirmation on that, though. Next, OFC. Same thing. It's kind of a bigger line in the sand right here for this stock. And see if that turns down there. We got a pretty good trade to test some of its lows at 45, maybe even lower. Amgen. No-brainer. Downtrending stock. Pulling back. Looks like it held this gap right here pretty well. I didn't get that exact, but holding that gap, starting to turn down from it. That could be a pretty good bearish trade. Stocks that I'm bullish on. I still like the FAF, First American. Bouncing off that trend line, it's still moving. Keep an eye on that guy. It's been moving pretty well as of late. Growth stock might be talking about later on this week. See if we get a better entry point on this guy. Good support bounce in LNDC, cheap stock. Maybe we talk more about that on the market cast later on this week. We'll see. And yeah, I think that's it. I'm out of time anyway. So that's just the majority of the watch list for this week. Some interesting trades. We'll add to that and subtract to that as necessary. But thanks for your ears and your eyes this morning. Hopefully the video was helpful, and hopefully there will be a few more where that came from. Like I said, I got some pretty interesting things coming in the works. Some changes that'll be made, so I can't wait for those. And anyways, we'll get to you guys soon. I'll be posting later on today about a few things, and we'll see you. Thanks. Bye-bye.